What's up, Juventini? A question that's been on all our minds was that bold move by management of laying all our cards on the table going to pay off or not? Are we starting to see the signs today in the news that activity has picked up around the guys that might have been involved in that list? We're going to look at the details there. Our top three targets all have status updates, and we have key meetings going down today, all right? And then you have two pieces of finalized business and, unfortunately, an injury to discuss coming out of camp. All that, much more. I'm Berto. This is the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's August 6th. Let's rock with the news. All right, so the bold move from Giuntoli Motta'S, laying all our cards out on the table. Was this a bad move, or is it going to start to pay off? Is the activity increasing? Well, around Chiesa, Roma comes back in the mix and is starting to press to finalize a deal for the player. Coincidence or not? Di Marzio states that Roma had never left the negotiation table, but it was extremely quiet around Roma till now. So I find it hard to believe that it's not coincidental with us laying our cards out on the table. This was no doubt a move from management to simply say, hey, we are willing to negotiate for all the guys we've left off the squad list for that last friendly. Come and get them. If you want them, let's talk business. For Chiesa, Roma's at the table with 15 to 18 million euros and El Shaarawy coming back in the deal. All right, for me, it's better to move Chiesa than lose him on a free, even if the capital is very minimal at like 3 million euros on that deal. But a player coming back in return is a big boost. El Shaarawy, though, I'd like to see a different player, all right? But that isn't the end of the world scenarios, as we do also need a little bit of depth, all right? But I personally would like to see a better player involved in the move. Let's see what happens. That's the latest on Chiesa. For Arthur, another player on that list, well, Fiorentina pokes their head back into the scene for the player, all right? And is that coincidental with us laying all the cards on the table? Hey, you decide, all right? But they're back in the mix, and Mirko Di Natale states, we wait now to see if they put in an offer. We knew Everton and Leicester had ramped things up, all right? But now, all of a sudden, Fiorentina comes back into the mix. Let's see if we can find a move there, all right? And in terms of our three top targets, they all have status updates with them, all right? When it comes to Galeno, the meetings are set to go down today between Juventus and his entourage, but we are getting mixed reports on his value. Mirko Di Natale states he's available for 30 million euros to Juventus, but Romano states that it's 40 million euros, all right? So we wait to see, but the first step is getting agreement wrapped up with the player and his entourage, and the meetings are set to go down today. For coat miners, well, the latest ploy from Juve is using Milik in the injury to Scamacca to try and wrap things up and get things over the line, all right? And Milik has in fact been offered to Atalanta, and we wait to hear what Atalanta feels about this, all right? However, there are other sources, not strong, not credible, all right, but sources that have gotten things correct from time to time, stating that the deal for coal miners is in fact done at 50 million euros with 6 million euros in bonus on top of that, and he is set to come to Juventus after the European Super Cup final, all right? So that's the latest. We wait to see. When it comes to Toribo, we have a hurdle and apparently a little bit of a stalemate as Juve is pressing for the loan to kick off the deal, and Nice wants nothing to do with a loan there because they have an outright purchase on the table, but from West Ham. And we know Toribo wants Juventus, so something is going to have to give. Somebody is going to have to give. We wait and see what will happen. But for me, enough is enough. It's time to get this move over the line. You have the funds. They are there to you. Use them. Bring this player in, all right? It does not take a week to recalculate your next offer. get it done. Are you there with me? Starting to feel the frustration? Hit me in the comments, all right? Now we get to Hans Nicolucci Caviglia. This is another player that was on that list, kept off the preseason friendly list in the last game against Brescia. And again, bold move, starting to play off, starting to get this activity rolling. Well, Caviglia is a done deal to Venezia. 4.5 million euro sale with a percentage of sell-on fee going to Juventus, and now we are just waiting for the final agreements between the club and player, all right? But it said that's going to be a contract to 2028 with an option to 2029. As far as another contract goes, Perin set to extend and renew with Juventus. He is the clear-cut second goalkeeper to Di Gregorio. Now, contract to 2026, option to 2027. Salary should remain the same at 1.5 million euros, but there are some rumblings it could be slightly decreased to 1.2 million euros, all right? And now another piece of done business. Frabotta is going to West Bromwich, but there is no sales fee. It is a free transfer. Juve only getting 20% of the sell-on fee for the player in this move, all right? Out of camp, we unfortunately have an injury to discuss, and that is Adzic. Adzic suffers a low-grade right thigh injury. He is going to be out the next set of tests, set to go down in 10 days' time, all right? So very close to when season starts. Will he, in fact, make the 24-25 roster? Right now, the way it's looking, absolutely, because we need bodies, all right? But a lot can happen in the window in 2 weeks' time. And for me, it's not a coincidence that the activity starts to pick up after the bold move. So where do you stand on that bold move? Do you think it was a bad idea, or do you think it is in fact going to pay dividends in terms of getting the activity rolling around Juve? Let me know in the comments, all right? And today we see Juve face off against Juve Next Gen, all right, in a tradition of having this inter-team squad match every year, all right? But today it's going to be at Allianz Stadium. It's apparently going to be a packed house and will be a fun event for us fans, a lighthearted event before we get to our final preseason friendly against Atletico, which will go down in Sweden, okay? That's your news break to today. You guys know the drill, all right? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army, but my favorite part, let's mix it up in the comments, baby. I want to hear how you feel about all the news you just heard today, all right? Let's mix it up. I'll be back tomorrow with another edition, and don't forget tonight, Playback TV, 6:15 p.m. Pacific time, 9:15 p.m. Eastern time, call-in show on Playback TV where we're going to take a look at the latest news around Juve. Until next time, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, ciao tutti.